My health at 34 got so bad that one day I realized I was completely out of options, and I ended up going after something I hadn't even thought about in 20 years. I didn't even argue with them. I was too tired for that. Eventually, someone suggested I talk to an old calligrapher named Hassan, who supposedly used to be friends with Zane. I went to his shop, which was small and packed with supplies, and found him working quietly. When I told him why I was there, he stopped what he was doing and looked at me like I'd just reminded him of something important. He talked about Zane like someone he'd known very well, but he also admitted he had no idea where he was now. He said Zane would show up regularly for a while and then disappear completely, sometimes for years. Hearing that didn't help much, but it did confirm that Zane was a real person and not just some story people passed around. After that, I kept searching. I walked all over the area, talked to anyone who seemed like they might know something, and followed every lead I was given. Each one ended the same way. Either the person hadn't heard of Zane in years, or they told me he might show up again someday, but not to count on it. By the end of it, I was exhausted and starting to feel stupid for how much time and energy I was putting into this. Still, I couldn't stop. Every time I thought about giving up, the pain would flare up again and remind me why I started. Eventually, someone mentioned that Zane used to spend time with a musician named Gabe who lived across town. It wasn't much, but it was the first new lead I'd had in a while, so I decided to follow it. I went to see Gabe mostly because I didn't know what else to do. By that point, I was running on very little energy and even less optimism. His place was nicer than I expected, but not in an intimidating way. It felt lived in. He welcomed me like he already knew why I was there, which honestly caught me off guard. I didn't feel like I had to explain myself too much, and that alone made me stay longer than I planned. When I mentioned Zane, Gabe didn't laugh or brush it off. He just paused and said that Zane used to visit him sometimes, but never on a schedule. He told me Zane could show up several nights in a row and then disappear for weeks or months. I asked if he had any idea where Zane was now, and Gabe said no, but that he might show up again at any time. Hearing that was frustrating, but at least it didn't feel like another dead end. Gabe mentioned a man named Warren who sometimes spent evenings at a bar downtown and who, according to him, still crossed paths with Zane occasionally. At that point, I didn't care how thin the lead was. I went to the bar that same night.